13,000 in Portugal, that's arena talk. You still on your training day, you eat the hard rappers with the get rich quick scheme.
Few things. My doubt over the last few days about whether or not I'm going to continue this vlog after 50. Fuck that. I'm going to keep doing this until it blows the fuck up. I don't care how long it takes. Years, decades. I don't fucking care. I'm here to stay. 10x rule. Grant Cardone. That's where I got that. I'm here to stay. And slowly, I'll build it up. I'm in no rush. If you just look at the quality difference between my first vlog and this vlog, my last 10 vlogs, it's like 500 times better, right? So imagine in, you know, another 50 vlogs how good it'll be. I'm happy with the quality, and soon I'll be doing a few video production stuff for a few businesses, so I'm gonna blow it the fuck up. So I'm not too worried. Not too worried at all.
Cause ain't no way y'all are fucking up my light. I spent $2 million just on tax or something light. In hindsight, I was right all along. Life of a dawn, writing songs, all those hooks, what fight to get on. You gotta see a way before it happens. Yes, I'ma be the greatest. Got your girl in a birthday suit, that's best dressed. Plus she likes girls too, like Ellen DeGeneres. First class Emirates is how I'm flying. SUVs on the tarmac, that's how I'm arriving. Presidential treatment, ooh, this life's so good. White skin, they can't believe that I got friends in the hood. I know the love songs and melodies throw y'all off. Don't give a fuck about your face tats, we know y'all soft. People we know with face tats got them for a reason. You use them for the gang culture aesthetic, you reaching. A lot of kids are popping Zans and sipping lean now.
I'm reading this book called Influence, and it talks mainly about the psychology of persuasion. And one thing that he talked about at the start, which I did not believe, I thought was bullshit, was something that my friend Liam told me about months ago, like 6 months ago. And I literally just called bullshit. I didn't believe a word he was saying. And now that I've read the book he was talking about, that's backed up by scientific studies. Yeah, bro, you were right. One of the small things that he talks about is one little nugget that I want to tell you guys I think you'll find interesting is that on a day where there was a boxing match in I think it was Chicago, and the study was done in the 90s or 80s. On the day that a boxing match was held in Chicago and a black man lost the fight, the homicide rate for black men increased on the day, and whereas the homicide rate for white men stayed the same. Now, at the same time, a test was done for a day where a boxing match was held and a white male lost. Homicide rates for white men increased, homicide rates for black men stayed the same. So the kind of collective consciousness of the of that event caused that in very crazy ways that this book talks about. But that is a scientifically backed up study, which is crazy. And the same thing goes for suicide. So why that happens is when you see someone like you do something, you automatically think, well, I can do that too. So for suicides that are publicly reported, there were studies that back this up, and we can have a read of the book, Influence. What they found was if someone similar to, if someone, a young man committed suicide and that was publicly, and that was publicized, more young men, the suicide rate for young men would increase. And that goes across, very different, genders, races, and so on. And that goes along with the social proof rule. So I've spoken a lot about social proof for social media marketing and business, but this is the dark side. But it's nonetheless understanding psychology and persuasion. Yeah, shit, it's crazy. Fuck. This book is kind of boring, and then this chapter came along and it blew my mind. Anyway, I think I've really now seen everything in Prague, so I'm just going to head home and work. I know in Berlin I'm just going to be obsessed with the museums. I'm going there tomorrow, so I'm going to head back, do some work so I can catch up in the next few days that I might commit, 1 or 2 less hours per day. I just realized he used another example of when news reporters use celebrities to give social proof basically for news or some shit or their cause. And it reminded me of this This skit by Dave Chappelle.
I remember right around September 11th, Ja Rule was on MTV. That's what they said. They said, we got Ja Rule on the phone. Let's see what Ja's thoughts are on this tragedy. Who gives a fuck what Ja Rule thinks at a time like this, nigga? This is ridiculous. I don't want to dance. I'm scared to death. I want some answers that Ja Rule might not have right now. You think when bad shit happens to me, I'll be in the crib like, oh my God, this is terrible. Could somebody please find Ja Rule, get hold of this motherfucker so I can make sense of all this. Where is Ja? Guide me, Ja Rule.
So another thing that he talks about in this book is how social proof, of course, has these negative effects. So I think where one of the big things this happens for me and my experience has been for students, and that goes for like jobs and careers too. Everyone sees everyone else going to uni, getting mediocre 9-to-5 jobs, and thinking, yeah, that's what you do, that's social proof. Everyone else is doing it, so that's what I got to do. Which of course is, it's stupid. I mean, you should yourself analyze the situation, your skills, everything involved, your opportunities, and then do it, not just, by default, go into stuff like this. Go into like a 4-year degree that you're locked into a year-long contract at a job, just because everyone else is doing it. I think there's just a lack of original thought, just like someone's own thinking about something, especially their own life decisions. There was a quote by Peter Thiel that I'm remembering now, from 0 to 1, and I'll put it here. But yeah, it's about like original thought. Because if you seriously think about it, and I mean, anytime I always just like annoy the shit out of my friends or anyone I meet when I'm asking things like, okay, what degree are you doing? They're like, business. I ask why. I want to do, I want to get a job. Why? Why do you want to get a job? Oh, well, I need to, do this. Why? Oh, because, I need to pay the bills. Can't you do something else? Well, yeah. But I don't know what I want to do yet. So, like, why are you locking yourself into a contract for 4 years? That's very expensive. And like, if you get down, ask why 10 times to the point where they get pissed off, they don't really have a great reason to do what they're doing, besides the fact that everyone else is doing it. Anyway, that's social proof, and I'm on Charles Bridge. And I'm
a lot of rappers using Instagram to teach how. A lot of kids OD that you don't read about, cause they don't follow rappers, they just follow fiends now. But I'm the bad guy.